Okay, so in this video right here, I basically just took this old render here and then just remade the whole thing in like a new, more modern way. The old one's from 2 years ago, and then the new one that, just made in this video. So if you want to see me just make this from scratch, this is what this video is. And yeah, this is going to be a bit more like just me having fun, less of just a step-by-step, here's exactly what I'm clicking each button tutorial. So yeah, it's more just like, just watch me make something. So if that's what you're interested in, yeah, this is the video. But the main idea is what I just described, yeah. Some structure with light and water and yeah, whatever. Okay, let's just go and start and see what happens. So the first thing I want to do is start modeling. And I'm going to open up Quixel Bridge for this one. I think I'm going to be using some textures from Megascans. I think that'll just make it a bit easier. So I'll just have that open. And let's just get to it straight in. Okay, so this one will be a little bit faster paced and just me having fun and less like here's every single button that I'm clicking and how to follow along with it. It's more of just like, yeah, I just want to have fun and make something and you can watch. And if it's too fast, that's kind of what the course is for. Anyways, here, let's see. It's kind of like beveled a little bit on the side. So if I take these, oh, is that bad? Yeah, that's kind of bad. Okay, let's undo the door and then maybe I can like figure this out first. So let's get the main shape kind of boxed out a bit and then I'll do the door after. So something like this and like, I don't know, that. Maybe this is a better way to do that door. Maybe, I don't know. Like that, and then maybe we can have like a little thing sticking out here. Does that look good? I don't know. This doesn't really make sense. It looks like a villager's house or something. And do we bevel this? Delete that. Yeah, that's kind of like not really the shape I wanted actually. I think this is supposed to be like in here more. I never know exactly what it's going to look like or what exactly I should be doing whenever I start something like this, but it just takes a little bit of, just messing around with stuff and like, I don't know, I don't like where this is going very much right now. In fact, I might stop using that as a reference and just kind of like go with whatever ideas my brain kind of generates right now. So let's actually delete that. Let's delete these vertices because I don't know, I don't like where that was going. Let's try something else. Yeah, even that might be fine, honestly. Like maybe we could just do like another one of those. Like let's just bring this in. You see how when I inset, I can't go past here. If I inset it and I just click and then just scale, then you can like go as small as you want and it won't destroy it. Just a little tip. And I think maybe this kind of shape will be better. And then we could actually bevel these maybe, like with a custom bevel. So just bring this up here. Boom, 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 boom. Something like that. Segments up. Maybe not 80, but like 20. And make this a little more curved. Yeah, sure. That's fine. And then let's take these. Boom, boom, boom. Take these. Bevel one segment. Extrude that in. Whatever. Yeah, cool. And I guess I could bevel that again. Like take this. Boom, 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 boom. Bevel. Yeah, whatever. I don't know. Like maybe I could put some ornaments or some kind of thing in there to like make it a bit nicer, like array. Some, I don't know, some like cube or something. Just kind of put that there. Okay, let's take all of those actually. And let's actually just duplicate it up. And let's just turn on affect only locations and scale it in, Shift Z. Yeah. And then again, cool. And let's take a texture from here. So let's just get like a stone texture from Quixel surfaces. So let's export this one. And there we go. And now Quixel Bridge is kind of still broken and not really working properly. So when you export the texture, it's all messed up, but it does come with all the right stuff. You just have to put the normal map into the right socket, turn off the clear coat, this is the roughness map going in here. I went to the wrong one, so just put it to roughness. And I think it's good now. And let's just cube project that. And let's just go to the UV editor and just scale it up. So boom. It's a bit too much. I might just take this and just kind of duplicate it around and make a couple of variations. There we go. And it got all that. Okay, cool. And I need some other detail in here, so maybe I can just take, I don't know, I'll figure it out later. I just want to get an idea out and not worry too much about like what looks good on the texture and model and stuff. Just kind of get like lighting and just a basic idea set up for now. So I always like to set up the camera as quickly as possible and lighting. And for this one, I know I don't want a sky texture. I'm just going to delete that. Go back here. Let's add a spotlight because I want light coming from up here. Amount doesn't matter, just something bright. Radius up, this up, this up. Maybe this not up actually. And a little brighter would be nice. And just kind of have that there. Maybe make it bigger and softer just so it's like quite bright. And let's see, what is the lighting doing in here? What direction is it coming from? It kind of looks like just almost straight down. So I might try and do that. Like, it's okay if this is in shadow a little bit. Something like this is very dark here. So to help that, maybe I can take a cube, display as bounds, and then add a new texture, delete this, add a volume scatter, density 0.0 or like 0.05 or something to start. Scroll to refresh that, and isometry up, and then turn on the under the light paths section here. By default's on 0 volumetric bounces. If I turn that up a little bit, it might help just illuminate everything else around it a little more softly. And it still looks too bright. It might just be the light, but it could be the volume. So maybe let's take that down a little, and slightly blue I think is going to be nice here. And there we go. And let's also take this down to like 0.002 maybe. And that's looking pretty nice. That's a good atmosphere for now. Yeah, I don't like these pieces, but I'm just going to block this out anyways with them, and just to get a structure, even though I'll probably swap them out later. But I just want to get an idea of the direction I need to be going in for this artwork. So something like this, maybe something here. Maybe something around here, like rotate -90 or 180, so the door's in the front. So it looks nice. You can scale them down a little bit here and there, doesn't really matter. And let's see. It's giving me like Mario vibes. Like, I don't know if you remember that thing from like the really old Mario. It was like those things in the background. Is that what I'm thinking of? I don't know. This looks very video gamey right now, so I don't really want that vibe. But again, I'm not going to worry too much about that right now. I just want to get an idea of what I need to do. I guess I already have an idea. Maybe I'm just kind of coping and just wanting to go somewhere. So, but maybe not. I don't know. Let's take this stuff and maybe scale it up. And I don't know what I'm doing right now, just so you know. If that wasn't clear, like I haven't like practiced this render or anything. I'm just kind of going into this blind. So if it seems like I'm kind of struggling, it's probably because I actually am. And sometimes the best thing to do is just duplicate more. Not always, but sometimes. So is this bad to like just duplicate the same 3 pieces 100 times to make a big temple? Maybe it might be bad, but maybe it's fine. And I might honestly just do that for all of them. Just delete that. It was adding some nice detail, but it's just like not doing what I wanted. This is maybe a good point where it makes sense to like take, I don't know, some other models that I just have in here. So maybe like I have this fantasy temple pack that I bought on ArtStation. I might just use that. I've been using that more recently for some reason. I bought it a long time ago, but it's just like a nice thing that I've been using. I've been really tired of the fantasy asset pack that I put in the course, just because like I've been using this so much that like I need a break from that, even though it's good. So here, let's take this and just kind of put in here. And this will be nice to add some extra just random detail and spice up the variation a little bit, so it's not just the same exact model like over and over again. And also these models are kind of rough in a weird way. They almost seem like they're decimated, and that actually adds a nice like dilapidated vibe. Like it makes it feel like worn down almost. It's kind of like a weird benefit of having like a kind of low quality model is it looks destroyed and old. And that might be nice here just to add a little bit of flavor to this, just so it's not so like video gamey and boxy. Because my models that I just put on here, that I just made, are not like, they're not very shit, I keep hitting the wrong button. Control L, material please. they're not very destroyed. Like they're very clean, hard edges, boxy, not very like worn down looking. And it would be nice to have a little bit of that. Maybe taking the specular down to 0. People say you shouldn't do that, but I think it looks cool sometimes. That might help. Okay, I wonder if I take the displacement map and use it in a weird way where I could like kind of fake. Here, let's try this. Run like this into here and this out, and then if I turn on displacement, maybe this will kind of add some variation to the geometry, so it's not like so clean cut along these straight lines. So displacement and bump, and yeah, it's doing what I wanted, but like horribly. So just turn that way down, and let's see if we can get this to work and how I wanted it to. Like, honestly, maybe a noise displacement would work better, and just run that into the height. Still looking pretty clapped, as you would say. So the main thing right now is you can clearly see the difference between those models I threw on there and the ones I didn't. And the ones I threw on there are like very, I think the displacement is just wrecking them. So what I might do is take all of those models that are that I layered on top, all these things, and luckily they're all labeled as numbers, so they're easy to find in the outliner here. Let's just move that to a new collection. Whoops, test. And hide that for a sec, or just take it and isolate it. And here's what I'm going to do to fix the texture. Click this button right here to make this one a unique texture. So any change I'd make to this one won't affect the other models with this texture on it now. And then I can hit Control L, material. Now all these things have that new material. And I can take off displacement for this one. So just unplug that. And it should stay on all the old ones, and then all the new ones, it will be gone. So I want to blend the amount of displacement in the old ones to the new one if possible. And I think it's going to be fine. And there's other ways of like making this feel more destroyed that don't require weird displacement like that. That's just kind of a cheaty way to like get like fake everything not being so perfect. I could also just rotate models here and there to like make it feel a little bit like more collapsing and run down. That might do the trick a little bit. I think that would be a good time to mention the course. Yeah, like if you don't know what this is, basically I just make 3 different renders from like 0% start all the way through, explaining the whole way, every decision, why I'm doing everything 3 different times. Yeah, it also comes with a bunch of asset packs, 3D models, just other various packs of stuff. There's a whole growing community on Discord. We're all just hanging out there, sharing our work, giving feedback. So here are some of my favorites of some of the renders people have made with the course. But I suggest you go to the page and just look at a bunch of them that I put up there of stuff other people are making with it. Yeah, if you don't want to spend any money, that's probably not for you. But if you're looking for a bunch of 3D models and my full process and join a community of people who are all interested in the same stuff, go and check that out because it's sick. Okay, back to the video. Anyways, let's build the rest of this scene. So I want water. Let's drop that in. If you haven't seen my video on water, this is just that. Here's the shader. It's just a glass shader running into like noise, running into the bump of a glass, like roughness down, transmission up, getting mixed with the transparent. The mix factor on there is this node right here, light path. The is camera ray top one is going into the mix factor on there. And then the principled volume is just going into the volume socket. That just adds all this murkiness. So I guess we'll start with a circle. Let's go 64 on the vertices. And I'll just scale this up so that it's the right size-ish. I don't really know exactly how big this needs to be, but this seems about right. So let's fill that with a face, inset, delete the interface. Now we have this, extrude that up. And I guess, how do I want to do this? I think an array of pillars would be nice. So let's just go to the fantasy asset pack, take a pillar. So I don't know. Let's just search. There's a bunch of duplicates for me because I accidentally put it in here twice. I haven't deleted the old one. But let's take something like this. Let's let that load in. And do I need to decimate this? I might. Decimate by 0.1. It's fine already. I think it's good. Yeah. Okay, so to array this in a circle, here's how we do it. Let's find that pillar. take this, turn off correct face attributes because I'm going to move it in edit mode out here. Take an empty, take any shape of empty, doesn't matter. Make sure this shares the same origin point, the pillar, as the empty. Doesn't really matter where, as long as the origin point is the same. We'll just apply the scale and rotation really quick too. And then array, turn off this, turn on this, select this as the object offset. And how many do I want? I think like 18 or something maybe. That would probably seem right. And then we'll just spin the empty around, and there we go. So that's how that works. And let's see. Let's just pair the empty to this so that if I move this around, it won't get destroyed. Get out of here. Alt-G the circle, scale this up, and just increase the, or take the inner side of this just to increase the thickness of this thing. And let's just decrease the thickness vertically, so scale it down on the Z. Pull this down here, shade, auto smooth. Let's take this and isolate that. And then we can pull this out slightly so that it's like a little bit of overlap here with these pillars. And then I think what might be cool is just pulling it down and making it a bit thicker. Let's take this, add a little bevel here, extrude that in, and then these, we'll just do a little bevel and up on top, on those top edges. Again, bevel, but maybe just one segment this time, just so it's a little bit softened, but not anything crazy. And I think that's going to be nice for now. And let's just duplicate that upwards and just put it right there. And now we have something we can kind of stack vertically, I guess. That's fine for now. Okay, texture, select all these things, and we'll just take the same material that's on everything else, so Control L material. And I think I should probably unwrap this, so we'll just cube project. I could do a better job, but I don't think you'll see it. Well, you might actually see it on here. So let's take this. The way you unwrap circular things really easy is just hit U for unwrap, and then F for follow active quads. Keep it on length average, hit OK. And you actually need to reset the UV map first, so U, just reset, R for reset, UF, length average, done. And now it should be working properly. What I try to do is see the square I have selected. I'll try to make the selected square in the UV map the same aspect ratio as that, so it's kind of like a rectangle. So I could just scale it in like this, and it should be all lining up now, I think. If I just click this, and that's how it's going to be laid out here. I think that's going to be fine. If you want to see what that's doing, if I just go to material preview, give it a sec. Yeah, there we go. So it'll just wrap it around the circular object, and you do it that way, which is really nice. Sweet, so we have that now. Let's see, do I need to do anything else here? I might convert to mesh and join this all together into one thing, set the origin to geometry, and now I can really just easily manipulate the shape of this thing. Could even duplicate it, scale it up again, so there's like a little bit of depth going on in the background. Don't know if I need that, but that's fine. And I'm going to display these as bounds, because that is really annoying to work with in the viewport, so just display as bounds for now. What I want to do right now is work on these waterfalls that are supposed to be coming down in the middle. I think that's going to be a really important effect to get right. It's going to be a little tricky with this because it's really complex, just to like make the water kind of look like it's dripping and like folding over the mesh here. So let's see if I can do that. I might just scratch that, but it would look really cool if I could. So the way I like to do these waterfalls, I've showed this before, but it's a little bit different what I do now. So let's just take a plane, scale it up like this. We'll just kind of put that there. And I'll just move it closer to the camera for now so I can see what's going on. But for the final thing, I'll like move it to the proper location. So that is going to be fine. The basic material is going to be like this, or maybe a translucent. In fact, let's just start by adding this shader to a translucent. And then there we go. So now we're getting the base color, and it's also getting translucency. So we get light, like direct light and translucency, which is really nice. Now what I want to do is take a transparent. So transparent is going to be, if I plug this in, completely invisible, right? Disappears. What I want to do is mix between these. So mix shader, and this will be one of the things, transparent and opaque. So just 0 to 1 right now. What I want to do is use a waterfall image to drive the mix factor between the transparent and the principled, or the mix of principled and translucent. If that's confusing, we're just basically saying, okay, an image or something is going to drive the opacity, like how, if it's transparent or not will be determined by an image. So let me find an image and use that. 1 second. Okay, so here's an image I found from Unsplash of a waterfall. So Unsplash is just a stock photo website. So I just went on there, searched for waterfall, found this. This will work totally fine for what we're doing here. So here's how this is going to work. I just dropped the image right into this texture, and let's plug that into the mix factor between these two things. It's probably not going to work right at first, but we will fix that. So let's just scale this down. Again, this is not the image editor. This is the UV editor. It's just showing the image I'm using. And let's just take a color ramp and just increase the contrast so I can actually see what's going on. So let's see. Okay, so it's working. It's just I think these need to be flipped around, because right now it's just making some of it a little tiny bit here and there transparent, and the rest is that translucent shader. I'm going to flip that around so that it's mostly transparent and just a little bit of that other shader we made. Why is that black? Oh, because this isn't plugged in. Whoops. There we go. So the tricky part now is like manipulating this shape and moving it over top of the this like structure I've made in a way that looks convincing. I want, like in my old one here, I had the water like coming down and then like going down over all these steps. So I'll see if I can do that again, because that looked really nice. So let's just give that a try. So it's going to be a bit tricky, but I think since most of these are very similar shapes, it shouldn't be too bad if I just make it 1 or 2 times and then reuse that same template that I make over and over again. That should work. If not, we'll probably just scratch this, but let's give it a try. So here's what I want to do. I don't know if correct face attributes is on. I should turn that on. So correct face attributes on, so when I move this around, the texture won't stretch. It should just extend. Might have a rough time over all these little bumps, but we'll see. So let's just pull that down there. If you can't really see what I'm doing, I know it's kind of hard to see in a wireframe. Hopefully you can just see that this thing is like getting extruded down and kind of across here. So let's just pull that down like this. I don't need to go like crazy into detail because I'm going to be shading this smooth anyways. But, you know, I want to do the best job I can. And I'm just hovering over this a little bit. I don't need to go crazy because like this is not going to be super visible. I just need it to look roughly like it's following the same shape as all these little steps here. And yeah, I'm literally just dragging it kind of over everything like this. This kind of reminds me of using like the pen tool in Photoshop a little bit, where it's like, it doesn't need to be super precise. It just needs to be like, if you zoom in and then just kind of follow the rough shape, when you zoom back out, it should look fine. And I'm not going to worry too much about adding too much geometry, because this is like not like it's not very many vertices in here. The plane is like, it's a very low poly thing. So even if I extrude it a ton of times, it's really not going to be a huge deal. Yeah. So this can just kind of come like this. Not worrying too much about what this looks like. Just kind of doing what I can to make it roughly follow the shape. And what's going on here? Yeah, that's fine. Sick. And look at that. Okay. So that's kind of the effect I wanted. This is not like a, that doesn't look that realistic. I could, there's, you know, probably more I could do, where like I make the edge fade out a bit more, turn this to ease, and then make it so it's not such a defined edge. That would actually be a lot better. Like this looks a lot nicer. Okay, cool. So yeah, I'm just going to move this out of the way for now. You can use that later. But the main thing is, can I get this, mostly this chunk right here? Well, I guess not that, this chunk right here. So it'd be from here upwards. Can this get duplicated a bunch of times? That's really what I want. So let's just deselect everything below here, and then duplicate this, separate by selection, just P to separate by selection. Cool, then we have this. Set the origin to geometry, and then this I could just reuse on a bunch of these other pieces here. And, you know, like it's already kind of matching the shape somewhat. I guess I need to stretch this out this way, scale it on the Y. But like I said, I can easily manipulate the shape without ruining the texture, and I can just scale it right in object mode, and it should be fine. And then just kind of bring pieces down like this. Yes, this is at the point where it's like, there's not that much I really need to, this is like kind of just annoying, but you just kind of do it and get it done, and then it looks good at the end. So, you know, whatever. Yeah, I'm probably going to cut this part out of the video because you don't need to see me like doing the same thing like 100 times. And here I'm just selecting all the waterfalls and that empty, and then just seeing if I just scale everything up or down this way, does it look better or worse? And I don't think it's a little different and kind of cool a little bit either way, but I don't know if it's better or worse. And let's just see. I'm just gonna keep messing with the lighting until something just clicks. Okay, I'm switching things up a little here. So I moved the entire thing back a little bit. It was kind of in the center before. I just kind of put it back against the edge of this structure over here. So if you see here, it's used to be in the middle. Now it's just at the back. And I also scaled up the whole thing. And then the lighting, I just deleted all the other lights. I just didn't like them. And we're just running with one spotlight now. Here's the settings, nothing crazy. And that's doing all the work here. And I think it looks a bit better just having it bigger in the back. And yeah, I think I also stretched out the entire thing vertically a little bit, so it looked like that before I just did that. And that's what's really nice about having it all parented to one empty, is you can really easily just kind of manipulate the whole shape of things sometimes. Obviously, if you stretch it too much, it's going to look stretched and bad, but in this case, I think it looks fine. Let me see if I can turn this on. Let's save, enable this, and let's see if this works. Okay, so inside Geoscatter here, I just picked that moss layer, scattered it on here, adjusted the density a little bit, and there we go. In a couple of clicks, a bit of lag later because this scene is really not optimized. I've got some moss on here. It looks like this, and yeah, it's running fine now. So there we go. Yeah, I think the only other thing I want to do in this scene is maybe some stuff in the foreground or on the ground itself. Like, it might be cool to have this really shallow water instead of just deep water. I think that might be more sick. So I'll try to add some sort of surface intersecting with that maybe. So I think let's grab something like this might work. Just some rocky ground. I'll just download this one right here. Zoom that out to 24 millimeters again. And yeah, we just need something more in the foreground. Maybe just some pillars would be good. Just some fallen pillars, I think. And then I think we're good at that point. I'm ready to stop working on this. So let's just lean this over, kind of just make it something fallen over. And put the same material on just so it matches. I think I'm going to stop there. I think we are good. Unless I want to zoom this out. Nah, 24 is fine. All right, so here are the settings. 3000 by 3750, 100%. And we'll just do, I don't know, 256 samples. I don't think it's that noisy right now. Here's a light pass. This is kind of weird, but that's what I'm using. Reflective, refractive caustics. Do I need to enable, here, let's turn on depth of field, just focus on here. I don't want this to be very noticeable, so I'll go like up to F7 even, just for a little bit in the foreground, but not very much. And we should be good. And let's just render this. Okay, so this is finally at a point where I'm actually starting to be happy with it. Usually when I'm working on a render, there's like a point, you know, half an hour in, it starts making sense and things just kind of flow and it's fun. Today was just like pain and not good, just not fun all the way through and up until the very end. So, you know, just how it is sometimes. Anyways, here's the edits I'm doing in Photoshop. So we've just got, this is straight out of Blender, just a bit of curves to darken the edges a little bit. Not really that necessary. I might even take that down a bit. And just brightening up the middle a little bit. Again, I'm going to take that down just a little bit because it's a bit much. Some dust particles. And now I'm just going to run that through the camera raw filter. So if I just bring that onto here, let's just convert that one for smart filters. Drop this one on the camera raw filter. The edits I just did in there. And I'll show you what's in here actually if I open this up. And this is the benefit of using smart filters, is you can actually go in and change whatever you did before. I might just undo this. So here's the settings I'm messing with. Clarity is adding a lot to this. You can see that. Bit of saturation, you know, bit of contrast, not too much else. In the color grading section, I'm adding a bit of blue into the shadows, but I think it's a bit much, honestly. I might, yeah, maybe it's fine. I think it's not a big deal. What is interesting here is the calibration section. This is doing a bit of work, so there's before, after with this. The green hues, I'm taking it up quite a lot. I'm actually going to drop that down a little bit because it's a bit much. And then in the color mixer here, I might just take the greens actually this way, or which one? What is it, yellows? Yeah, one of these is just a bit, a little bit much. Maybe it's not a big deal, I don't know. And yeah, I think that's a good place to stop here. So I'm going to hit OK, and then let's just do one last thing, which is a color lookup table. So if I just hit new, like the menu here, and then hit color lookup table, the half circle, and then just scroll through one of these. So the way this works to scroll through them, you just click one of the options, and then it'll be highlighted, and you just hover over it and scroll. And I might just drop the fill on this, just so it's not full blast, and just pick one that looks good. I actually kind of like that. And let's just drop a curves over top of this. Nothing crazy, just a little bit of that. Maybe not even boosted here. And I'm not happy with the colors, so I might just drop a hue saturation over top of this before, because it doesn't matter where you put it, but just above the camera. And let's see if I can tweak these yellows to be, that's nicer, a little bit more orange. Maybe increase the lightness, leave the saturation where it is. Maybe not, maybe just drop this. I don't know. Just finding a balance of whatever. Maybe another hue saturation above that and just crank it a little bit right there. That's kind of cool. Yeah, I don't know. I like that. I think I'm going to take a break and come back later, but I think this is at a good point to stop. One thing I just realized, which somehow I didn't notice till now, was in my original one, it's like rotated at a 45-degree angle, and then in this one I've done like head on. I think that's fine. I don't really need to change it, but if I was going to go back, I probably would have rotated it, but oh well. Yeah, no, so in this video, I didn't go too much into detail about exactly which buttons I'm clicking and why I'm doing certain things. I was kind of just showing you the flow of things, if that makes sense. So if that's what you're interested in and you just want to see me explain every single decision and why I'm doing certain things in certain orders and how I put things together in a very strategic way, that would be, I would suggest you go and check out the course I have available. I think that's all I need to say. Okay, that's it. See you around. Bye.